And we're back. It is week 7 time, already week 7 somehow. We are getting close to the halfway point here in just a couple weeks, which is insane. Um, but week 7 in the NFL, Al, how you doing? You ready to dive into this?
I am ready and willing, and yeah, I can't wait to talk about Week 7, man. We had some success with our picks last week. Maybe we can keep that rolling. Let's see.
13-1. We both went 13-1 last week.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's revel in the success because we've had our taken our share of beatings this year.
I think that's the best we've ever done.
Yeah, it is definitely, definitely.
Okay, so you're gonna host as always for the preview show or the preview show, and let's get started.
All right, my man. Here we go, and let's start with the buys. There's only 2 buys this week, and one of them is your boys. Certainly need one this week. It's good timing for them, probably, especially with all the injuries. And the Chicago Bears.
All right,
Now,
perfect.
Thursday night, not exactly a banger. Broncos at Saints, and it will be unless they change to a different quarterback, which I haven't heard anything about. It'll be Spencer Rattler. It will definitely not be Derek Carr. He'll be out injured.
All right. This is not an easy game to pick.
This is another. We were talking about that right before we got on air. We forgot to mention this one. Another toughie.
Right. But not one I'm overly interested in either.
Agreed.
I believe my baseball team will be playing that night, and I'm watching baseball.
Yeah, especially since you have to watch it on Amazon Live with commercials. That makes it even harder to sit through.
Right. So I will go exclusively with the home team, even though they're not playing. They're kind of playing like garbage now after their hot start. I'm still going to go with the Saints because Denver's not very good either. I'm going to go with the Saints 20-16 and a close one.
Okay, okay. And my chuckle will make sense in a second. I went with the same team for the same reason. I did consider the Broncos here because of the rookie quarterback, and the Broncos defense has been pretty good this year, but they are very likely to be without Patrick Surtain this week, which takes them from a very good defense to instantly to not anywhere near as good because he's one of the best players in the league. And very similar to your score, I'm going Saints 19-15.
All right.
Aha. Now,
Hmm.
speaking of uninspiring games that are the only game on at that time, Sunday 9:30, Patriots at Jaguars, who get to play in London for 2 weeks in a row.
And they're staying there.
Forever?
Well, no, yeah, but they were there last week. They didn't go home. They're staying there all
No, you're
week.
right. And that's a huge advantage.
Yes, I think so. And because of that, I am going to go Jacksonville 28-17. New England is probably the worst team in the league. Jacksonville is not much better at all. They're right there. They're not even in the muck. They're so bad, but they're still better than New England. And they do have that advantage of not having to fly and all that. And I'm going to go Jacksonville 28-17. Another game I'm not that interested now because Jacksonville's not what I thought, and they're not doing anything that's all that interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no,
Drake May, I gotta say, Drake May might be something to watch.
that's what I was going to say. I'm with you. And if this game had been in America, even in Jacksonville, I might have picked the Patriots because the Jags look that bad, and I liked Drake May's debut that much. But given the London advantage, the travel, the fact that the Patriots aren't very good anyway, I'm going Jags 23-16. But this one would I almost picked this one as my upset. This one would not surprise me if Drake May plays well again. If they can beat the Jags. The Jags stink too.
Totally agree.
All right. Now, one of the games of the week, and there are a few this time. Start right with the 1 o'clock Lions at Vikings. What do you think of that one, my man? And tough games to pick. We talked about tough games to pick. Here's one of
This is impossible.
them.
I just put the word no next to it. Just no, I don't want any part of picking this game. I want every bit of watching it, but I don't
Yes,
want to really pick it. Um,
absolutely.
I'm I'm not going with the home team. I'm going Detroit on the road. You get a huge win, 35-31. Minnesota is for real. I do believe that. I just think Detroit is even better than that. I think they're more than just for real. I think they are true contenders for the Super Bowl, could possibly win it. I don't think Minnesota is that yet. Um, maybe if they win this game and a few others, I'll change my tune. But for right now, I still say Minnesota is a good team, a playoff team, but not a true Super Bowl contender. And I think Detroit is, and that's why I'm going Detroit, 35-31, in a great game. If that's the score, that'd be great.
Yeah, man. No, that's I love it. It's funny because I was wondering where you would land on this one, and it shakes out the same way for me. I'm taking the road team. I was very impressed by the Lions all season, and and last week for sure. The Vikings have been unbelievable. They really blow me away. And the one thing there's a couple things about this that make me doubt my own pick, but I'm not going to change it. One, Hutchinson went out. That's going to be a factor. I'm not sure how much. We'll find out this week. Um, the other thing is this matchup, as far as the Vikings defensively, isn't the best for the Lions in that their run offense is so good, and the Vikings have the second best run defense in football, 62 yards a game. And they played some real teams. They played the Niners and some good teams, man. Like that's not just, like they
Yeah.
did it against five Clevelands. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the pass defense, which and listen, I know Goff has worked his way up to of being a very good quarterback. But if you're picking a strength of this team, it's still got to be the run. And Minnesota's pass defense is their weakness, so it sets up for Goff having to be the one to win this game. And he's done that enough now that I think I can rely on it. So I still am picking them, but it is an interesting angle. So I'm going to go Lions like you, and I'm going to go 31-26.
No, we're both picking high scoring, close games. I like it.
Yes, yes. All right. Now, next one, Titans at Bills with Amari Cooper making his debut.
Oh yes, Amari Cooper making his debut for Buffalo. Tennessee's not very good.
No, I agree.
Tennessee is not. I don't. I think they've moved from the lower muck to no muck at all. They are below the muck.
I'm with you.
For those who don't know, once again, I will explain. We have three mucks: the high muck, the middle muck, and the low muck. If you're out of the muck completely, you're really good. If you're out of muck completely on the other end, you're really, really bad. Most other teams are somewhere in the muck.
I
Anyway,
love it. I love it. Well said.
but Tennessee is bad, and they've got some players. Obviously, Pollard's playing really well. He's having a great year, but they still have a problem at quarterback in Buffalo. They got the win on Monday. They didn't look great, but they got a new shiny toy in Amari Cooper, and I'm going big with Buffalo here. I'm going 40-20 Buffalo with the win, throwing a 40 burger up.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Wow, nice. Um, Yeah, listen, I'm with you. This is one of the easier games to pick this week, especially like I mean the only thing that I still would pick the Bills to win even if they made the switch to Rudolph, but it would make it a lot more interesting to me. But yeah, this is Bills, Bills, Bills. I didn't go quite as big as you, but I still went pretty big, 30-16.
All right, fantastic.
All right, now next one, and there's a quarterback question on this one. I think I know the answer, but I want to see if you've heard any differently. And that is Dolphins at Colts. And the last I heard is that we are highly expecting Anthony Richardson to make his return this week.
Really? Okay. Okay. I heard that as well, but I wasn't sure if it was. I don't know if I heard it as strongly as that. I heard it was like he'd be questionable, and we're not sure.
Okay, yeah, and I have not heard anything definitive, so that don't take definitely if you're listening to this, definitely check.
All right. He did not play well when he was in there. Makes me question my pick a little bit. But the Dolphins, they're just lost. They're just, the whole franchise. They're just lost without Tua. They're just not very good at all. They've been. Have they won a game since he went down?
Yeah, they won their last game. Remember, they had that first game with Snoop Huntley that was terrible, and then they won the next game, which I can't remember who it was against. I'll find it.
Okay. I'm
Patriots, I want
still.
to say.
Yeah, but the Colts are. They're in the muck. They're like. I guess they're lower muck, but they're still there. Miami without Tua probably is not, or maybe also in the lower muck. but I'm going to go with the home. If they're both there, I'm going to say the home team. So I'm going to go Colts 24-14. Although the Richardson factor could change, and you would think it would make me more confident in the Colts, but he's been so bad that if he plays, I might be more confident in Miami. But I'm
I know
not
what you
going.
mean.
I'm not going to caveat it. I'm just going to go Colts 24-14.
Okay, okay. So, okay, here's the answer to the who the Patriots played. They since Snoop has been the quarterback, they lost to the Titans and they beat the I'm sorry, the Patriots. So it's not like that's a big win to hang your hat on, and they beat them 15-10. so, so yeah,
Right.
not much to take from that. And I found a Sports Illustrated article from yesterday. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson to return from injury versus Dolphins. They're saying it as a definite.
Okay. That gives me some pause, but I'm still going to go with them. They're at home, and Miami's just not very good right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. I think the Dolphins. I think they're going to be a little better than they looked the first 2 weeks with Huntley coming back, but I don't know if it's enough to matter. And I'm going Colts. Richardson or no Richardson, I'm going Colts 21-18. I don't love this one.
Yeah, this is one I don't feel very good about.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. I want to see how it plays out.
Yep.
Okay. Now, another interesting one. Seahawks go to the Falcons, and the Seahawks have been taking a beating the last couple of weeks after we anointed them one of the most solid teams in the NFL.
Absolutely, they've been taking a beat, and I think it's going to continue. I have Atlanta winning 31-21 because they are hitting their stride. We have them both. I think we both have them winning the division, or
Yeah.
maybe I had Tampa. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, we both had them up there. And
Hmm.
yeah, this is. I think they're hitting their stride. They're going to be who we thought they would be. Seattle probably has fallen off a little bit from where we thought they were. And yeah, they're going to take it on the chin again. I got 31-21 Atlanta. They're at home as well. That's another factor, and we'll see. But maybe the Seahawks can surprise. But they need something. They need a. If they can get this win, that'd be a huge win for them. This is almost must win. But for right now, Falcons, 31-21.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The I'll tell you this was there weren't a lot of surprising point spreads this week. This one surprised me a little bit. I thought the Falcons would get more than the 3 points at home on this one. I thought it might be more like 4 or 5 at least, especially after the Seahawks' last couple games. So the fact that it's only -3 was very interesting to me. Oh, and by the way, let me flash back to our discussion about the Ravens Commanders game last week where the point spread was 6.5, and we had quite a discussion about that point spread. You realize the Ravens ended up winning by 7? That's how good Vegas is. It's insane. It's insane. This is why I don't bet on football.
You
they're
can't.
two
You
on
can't.
it. It's crazy. Um, so anyway, I am going Falcons. I love what I'm seeing from the Falcons the last few weeks. They have just kicked it into high gear. This matchup is perfect for them. I wouldn't be surprised if both Falcon running backs push 100 yards in this game. And Falcons 33-28, and that 28 is on a last minute garbage touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely love what Atlanta's doing, no doubt.
Right on, right on.
But
Uh,
Seattle does need this. If they can get it, that'd be huge.
Super impressive, and I'll put them right back where I thought they were, and then some if they win this game.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Now, another contender for game of the week. Texans at Packers. And another toughie to
This
pick, my
was the one. Another one that I put no by, but the other one I put one exclamation point. This one I put four.
man.
No,
Wow.
I don't want to pick this.
Mm.
This is impossible.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. I went back and forth on this a lot.
This is totally a home call. If we were in Houston, I'd be picking Houston, but we're in Green Bay. I'm picking Green Bay 27-24. Don't feel good about it. Houston only has one loss, but Green Bay's got love back. They're playing well, and they are at home. That's the main factor for me. But boy, I would not be surprised one bit if Houston wins. They're on a roll too. Um, I mean, Stroud hasn't been putting up huge numbers. That kind of maybe can sway me a little bit as well. But either way, Green Bay 27-24.
Right on. Okay. Very similar to my thought process here. It's comes down to the home team because I think a lot of both of these teams.
Yep.
It also doesn't hurt, and I'm help me with their best receivers that's out on the IR with that hamstring injury, Nico Collins.
Nico, yep.
It doesn't help anything. Although they have enough weapons that they're still very good in that regard, but they're
Because they
not
got Joe
as
Mixon. They lost him, but they got Joe Mixon back.
and that's huge, no doubt about it, no doubt about it. But Nico has become one of the top five receivers in football, so that can't help him anybody that he's out. So just another small factor in making my choice. And I think my score is pretty close to yours, 27-23 Packers.
Oh, wow. So we're 1 point different.
Yeah, what'd you do, 27-24?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, I love it. That's a man, and all these man, so many of these games are on the same time as my Eagles, so I will not get to see them because they'll be on. I'll get the Fox game will be the Eagles for me, and I won't get to see the Texans Packers. That's a bummer.
Well,
Um,
you gotta check out the highlights. That's what I do.
I definitely will, and a lot of times I'm able to catch replays on the NFL Network. They usually replay like 4 or 5 of the best games of the week, so hopefully I'll get to catch the whole thing eventually. Um, okay, next one. Not a pretty one. Bengals at Browns.
You're not kidding. Not pretty. Ugh. Talk about no interest when you got Houston and Green Bay and Detroit and Minnesota and all these great games. That I have no interest here. The Bengals. I got them winning this 20-13 because Cleveland. They're just awful. They don't have Cooper. Um,
Yeah, good
in,
point. I
conten-
forgot about that. And they're for
in
that.
contention for what the worst team in the league. They're not even in the muck. Cincinnati is on the lower end of it, and they got to win this game. They're not going to make the playoffs. We've already talked about that. They dug themselves too big a hole this year, in my opinion. I guess technically it's not completely over, but I would say it is. Regardless, they're going to win this game. They're better. They're more talented. I don't care that it's on the road. 20-13 Bengals.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah. Technically the Bengals can still make the playoffs. Of course, you're right, but it would be highly unlikely. I don't remember the stat now about 1 in 4 teams making the playoffs, but not many have. Um, but I think they're in a whole nother world than this Browns team. So, and evidenced by the fact that they're 4.5 point favorites on the road as a 2-4 team.
Right.
So I'm going Bengals and I'm going big, 27-9.
So Bengals ass whooping. Okay.
Yeah, nice. That's right. That is right. Okay, and that leaves this one. Another. This is this isn't as easy to pick as I was hoping it would have been, and that is my Eagles at the Giants.
I want you to go first on this one. Talk to me about this game.
Okay, so I'm taking the Eagles. I'll just say 23-19. But I almost picked this one as my upset pick. I didn't do it, but it was in contention. Um, The Giants' offense can make any defense get right, and the Eagles got right against the Browns. So hopefully they can be at least as good against another team that stinks. I'm not, they still have a lot of proving to do. So I'm just curious to see where they land because if you can't make the Giants look bad, your defense stinks. Um,
Yep.
the thing that worries me big time about this is that defensive line and Hurts' ability to handle it. So, is he going to go back to turning the ball over when people are in his face all day, or is he going to play smart like he did this week? So, um,
Well,
it's annoying to me that this is as hard a game to pick as it is in Week 7. This should not be that hard a game to pick. The Eagles should be way better than the Giants, and they aren't. So, but I'm still picking them.
yeah. Yeah. You put some respect on the Giants with the 19 points scored too.
Yeah, it's hard
Um,
to imagine how they score 19 points on any given week, but I'll give it to them.
yeah. They could. They could
Eagles
get
just
in that
gave
range.
the Eagles just gave up a touchdown on a blocked field goal, so are finding creative ways to give teams points.
Well, I will say this. Plus, it's in New York. That's another thing,
No doubt.
or in New Jersey. So it's a road game. it does make it a little bit difficult. I was also tempted to make the Giants my upset pick, but I was not really tempted to put them as the winner. I got Philadelphia 23-16, very close to you. You have 19. I actually
Interesting.
have it a little bit of a bigger range, but still right there. I got a feeling this you're going to be I think you're going to be sweating. I think this is going to come down to it. I really do. I think this is going to be probably. I could see this being 16-16 right up with 5 minutes to go in the game.
Well, the Eagles have not allowed me not to sweat in any game this year, so I don't know why that would change now. Yeah, they
But
have
I do
not
have them
proved.
winning. I
Yeah,
have them winning.
yeah, they're good. They're so you had 23-16, I had 23-19.
Yep. And I got it as a 2 minute drive or late fourth quarter touchdown in a tie game 16-16 to get the 23-16 win.
Right on. The only error we both might have made is having field scores that involve a lot of field goals in the Meadowlands.
Yeah, because that's proven to be impossible.
As we just saw last night in the Giant game. I mean, or wait, who was it that was doinking Zerline?
The Jets,
The
Zerline.
Jets game, yes, yes. Oh man, but yeah, no, I think that's reasonable, and it's all respect to the Giants defense that's making me call it a close game.
Yep,
Nothing about their offense
exactly.
terrifies me at all.
No, no, no.
Okay, whew. Now we move to the 4 o'clockers, and we start with Raiders at Rams.
Well, the Raiders are out of the muck, in my opinion. They stink.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But the Rams they might not even be the muck either. They're not very good either.
Yes.
Um, if they're in the muck, they're in the lower tier for sure. And if they lose this one, they'll be out of it. But this is two bad teams, and you just simply for me, I just go with the home team. But I have my score 23-12. I have it as a close game late, and then another like a turnover or something, maybe a pick six to make it 23-12. But I got it. I think it's going to be closer than that till the very end, and then maybe the Rams pull away. But again, this is a home team pick, 23-12.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Now, I did find some news here that is not hard news, but it is encouraging that Cooper Cup might actually play this week.
Okay. And
Which
don't
I
forget, the Raiders don't have Adams. Not that he's been out, I know, but he's gone.
Yeah, that doesn't help them in their awfulness. That just cements it even more. um, yeah, and if Cooper Cup comes back, obviously that's huge. So, yeah, Rams hopeful to get Cup back in Week 7. They're going to see how the practice week goes and make a decision. So, I just think, regardless of Cooper or not, if Cooper's back, great. Obviously, that's huge. But I think the Rams are a better team without Cooper and Puka. And the Raiders are what you said. They are firmly in that bottom clump below the bottom of the muck. They are just bad. So I'm going Rams, and I'm going 30-17.
Yep. Right there with you. Right there with you.
Okay. Now Panthers at Commanders next.
I mean, we don't really even have to get too deep into this. This is a Washington. They're going to whitewash them, 38-13.
I love it, and that's why I didn't do any build up on that one because it didn't need it. Yeah, I'm with you. Lots of respect to this young team getting a -8 point spread, even against the Panthers. That tells you the NFL, the Vegas even thinks they're real, and as you and I both do. And I'm with you. This is a butt whooping. 34-15 Commanders.
Yep, I totally see it. Daniels is fun to watch. They're they're a fun team, even though I don't, even though I hate them.
Yeah,
Um,
right there
but
with you.
they're definitely a fun team, and the Washington fans, the Commander fans, have something to really look forward to. And yeah, they're a good team, and they're good. They're It didn't take them a year to get right. They're good right now.
Very impressive. Very impressive. A big credit to Jaden Daniels because that is not easy to walk in and put your team up to instant contention. We saw it last year with CJ Stroud. That was a shock, and a big credit to CJ. And Daniels is doing the same thing. Caleb Williams is doing the same thing in Chicago.
Yep, yep. Took him a little longer, but now he's right there with him.
And
Yep,
the teams have the same record,
yep.
don't they? Aren't they both 4-2 now, or did I make that up?
That I'm not sure on. I don't have it handy.
I got you. I got you. Here we go. Sorry. Efforting. Yeah, Commanders 4-2, Bears 4-2. Bam. And then, it was a odd way of getting there, but they both landed in the same place and they're both playing just as well now. It's wild.
Totally agree. Yep.
Okay. Well, we're agreement on that one. Butt whooping. All right. And another contender for game of the week. And boy, do I want to see how this one goes. Chiefs at 49ers.
this is this is bonkers. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
Tough one,
At
man.
49ers,
Hmm.
man, this was another one. So hard. I mean, Kansas City hasn't lost yet, but they don't. They just like last year. They're just not super impressive, but they keep winning.
And they're coming off their most impressive game of the year by far.
Yep, but San Fran is as well. I mean, it looked like they were getting right last week. They're at home.
Absolutely.
I'm actually picking the Niners to win this game 27-21.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. I really wanted to pick the Chiefs in this one. I really did. But I'm going home team too. I got the Niners. If the Niners had played mediocre last week, I would have picked the Chiefs easily. But the Niners have this propensity to look like crap for a couple weeks and then get their proverbial shit together. And it looked like last week was the beginning of that to me. So I'm gonna take this as the Chiefs are gonna lose a couple along the way here. They're not a perfect team, no way. So this makes sense for it to be one of them to me. I'm going real close though. 49ers 28-27.
Yeah, you're right. They're gonna lose a couple along the way, and this is as good as any. This is more likely than almost anything else. So yeah, makes perfect sense. Plus, San Francisco's probably got a little bit of a revenge factor on their mind, for last year
No doubt. No
in the
doubt.
Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm gonna go Niners.
Yep,
I
I'm
like
with
it.
you, my man. I'm with you. Have we had anything different yet, Craig?
No, we have not.
Okay, and this happens as we get further into the year too, and things start making more sense. So we'll see in these last couple games here. All right, so we moved to prime time Sunday night, and this is a really interesting one. I was kind of impressed with the Jets' first game under their new regime, and they're adding Devontae Adams. Even though they lost the game, they had two field goals that could have sent it. One could have sent it to overtime. Another one, if they made both, they could have won. So, and both of them were inside 43 yards. So it's not like it was a total disaster or anything in Week 1. But they are playing the Steelers at home, and we don't know who the quarterback is.
Right.
And I am not
This is
having.
another one that's impossible.
So with you, man. We didn't mention this one either. Yeah, there's like 6, 7 games this week that are crazy hard.
When it's this hard, I go with the home team more often than not. And I had the Jets written down and then crossed off.
I understand that.
And I kept the score the same, which is going to be ugly. I have it 14-13 Steelers.
I love it, and that score makes a lot of sense. It does. Um, yeah, man. No, I'm with you. This was one of the 3 or 4 hardest games to pick this week, and there were some real hard ones. Um, I really tried to pick the Jets here, but when again, I'm very much like you, and this is why we don't have a lot of differences sometimes. When it's close and it's tough, I'm going home, and I'm not caveating with the quarterback situation. I'm just rolling with it, and we'll see what happens. I'm going Steelers 19-17. I thought I was picking an ugly score, but you beat me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if the Jets get off the snide here and win this game.
I'm with you.
Especially Adams will be there, even though he's just joined the team. He's got 6 days or whatever it is, 5 days. He'll be ready to go because the playbook's probably pretty close. He probably pretty similar to what he knows. So I'm still going to go with that defense and that team uh, playing well or well enough. Even with, and you know what? If they get Russell Wilson back, I also wouldn't be surprised. Despite everything, I think he probably will play well. To be
Hmm.
honest, I could see that. Can't you see him playing his first game and going like 20 for 25, 250 yards, two touchdowns, and no picks?
100. Listen, as much as I've been rooting for Josh Fields in this situation, I like Russell Wilson a lot, and let me tell you who benefits immensely if it's announced, if Tomlin announces to anybody before the game who's actually starting, get George Pickens in your lineup if it's Russell. George Pickens is the kind of guy Russell is going to jive with big time. He is able to create. Russell loves to spend a lot of time flopping. He's the slowest release in the history of the NFL practically because he likes to spin around and dance and then throw the ball 7 seconds later. And Pickens is perfect for that. So yeah, keep your. I'm with you. I'm with you. I think it could be. Really interesting. I'm really curious to see what happens with this situation. I can't wait to see what happens this week and moving forward.
Yep. Actually, with both teams,
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, because the Jets,
they're just
man,
interesting. They're just a very interesting team, and
they
they
really
make
are.
they make news.
They have, I mean, just massive offensive firepower if they can just get it going. They have a great running back. They have a very good backup to that great running back. They have now three pretty good receivers. I wouldn't have put Alan Lazard in the pretty good receiver category before this year, but he's playing incredibly well this year. I just thought he was okay, like good, but not great before this season. I still don't think he's great, but he's playing very well. And Garrett Wilson is one of the best in football, and so is Devontae Adams. So this is it's wild. I can't wait to see what happens.
I was half expecting Aaron Rodgers in this press conference to say relax.
Mm, totally,
RELAX.
totally.
I
Oh my
was
god,
it was there's that same vibe as that one.
that's so funny, man, and that would have been perfect. That would have gone over real well in New York, by the way.
No, no.
About as well as Sirianni chiding the fans, chastising the fans in Philly.
The thing about the Philly thing is it's not even opposing teams' fans; it's his own fans.
It's his own fans. And dude, he's been there for what? This is year four, and
I guess
he
he
has.
he apologized today or yesterday.
Yeah, because I'm sure the owner sat down with him or called him and said, "You idiot! What the hell are you doing?" He didn't do it because he figured it out on his own. Let me tell you that.
You idiot! What are you doing?
Oh man, oh yeah. I don't. It's amazing that he has made himself this unpopular in a town where, if you just look at his record, he should be hoisted around on his shoulders.
Yep, yep.
I love it. All right, my man. So now somehow they snuck two Monday nighters back in on us here, Craig. I don't know what they're
Yeah,
doing with these double
I
Monday
don't know
nighters
what
this year.
this. I don't know the schedule with this crap. It
I
just
don't.
keeps. They just pop up every once in a while. Oh, there's two this week. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to do the later start first because the other one's more exciting. So let's go with Chargers at Cardinals first. And let me throw this in real quick. Marvin Harrison Jr. is almost definitely going to miss this game because he was concussed last week.
Yeah, I even before that news, I have the Chargers winning this 21-19. Arizona has fallen. They every once in a while they'll come up with something that's surprising. But the reason why it's surprising is because you don't expect them to be very good. So whenever they play pretty well, you're surprised by it. And they are not. They're probably out of the mark at this point. Chargers are firmly in it, but they're not doing. Nobody's doing backflips for them either. They're not in the upper part of the muck. I'll tell you that. Um, so we'll go 21-19 Chargers. Simply put, they are a better team than the Cardinals.
Yeah, I am with you. And I want to do this, though. Check this out because you want to talk about a hard team to figure. That is the definition of the Arizona Cardinals. Look at their season so far. Week one, they play the Bills really tough. They lose 28-34.
Yep.
Week 2, they destroy the Rams, who still had I think, had both receivers at that point. Maybe they lost Puka by then. I think they lost Puka by then, but they still had Cooper Cup, and they beat the Rams 41-10.
Yep.
Then they lose to the Lions, who are one of the best teams in football. We both agree on that, by 7 points, 20-13. Then, so you're thinking that's where we both were like, they're a solid team. They're not great, but they're at least solid, competitive. And then the next week they lose to the Commanders 42-14.
Yep.
Then they come back from that and beat the 49ers.
Yep.
And then the week after that they lose to the Packers by 21 points. So figure this team out, man. I can't. I'm with you. I think they're mucky, like bottom mucky, to totally sucky.
Yeah. You know what? They should be. They shouldn't be out of the muck. I'm going to put them back in the muck, but the lower end of the muck
Yeah, they're
with the
mucky.
Chargers, by the way. But I just think they're a better team.
Yeah, the Chargers are just like the Chargers have been pretty predictable this year. They've beaten teams they're supposed to beat. They've been competitive in almost every game, and they play just solid, boring football. But it's exactly what you would want to see from a team in its first year of its new regime. So, I'm with you. They're a little easier to figure. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Yep. And J.K. Dobbins, right? He's there. Wait.
yep. And by
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way, that's the biggest reason I'm picking the Chargers is because of their dedication to the run game. And the Cardinals are the 29th ranked rush defense.
Oh, didn't Connor also go out for the Cardinals?
He did, and I haven't heard a darn thing about his status. Let me see if I can find anything while we're talking.
So he might be banged up too. So yeah, that's another reason to go for the without Harrison and possibly without Connor or at least a banged up Connor. I gotta go Chargers here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and it was an ankle injury. Um, yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing yet. But he was taped up during the game. Blah blah blah. Didn't play after. So yeah, there's nothing new. Keep your eyes on that one for sure. Yeah, it does. It certainly doesn't help the Cardinals' case if he's out. No doubt about it. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to mention. Here's another really cool thing about the Chargers this year, and I don't know who their defensive coordinator is, but give him a little love here. So far this season, and this is I know that they had a bye, but this is per game, so this is real stats. They are the sixth ranked rush defense and the eighth ranked pass defense.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I said. I couldn't believe it. Now, some of that has to do with the brand of football they're playing, where they're grinding it and doing clock ball and stuff. But you have to give credit where credit's due, and that's very impressive in year one of a new regime.
Wow. Wow. All right. Oh, did you give a score?
Oh, I did not. Sorry. Here we go. Chargers 16-13. I think
Oh,
they
nice and
win.
ugly.
Yeah, I think they win, but they're both. Neither of them are offensive juggernauts. So let's see a nice ugly game.
All right.
Okay, and here's our final contender for game of the week after a slew of possibilities this week, and that is what a game, the Ravens at the Buccaneers.
See, the fact that it's in Tampa Bay makes it better.
I agree, 100% agree.
This would have been an easier pick to go with Baltimore if they were in Baltimore, but they're in Tampa, which makes it very interesting. Um, Tampa can come up big here. This would be a huge win for them. But I don't see it. Baltimore is absolutely rolling. I got Baltimore 30-24, but Tampa Bay is my upset pick.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. And I like. And what was your score again? 30-24.
30-24 Baltimore. Tampa
Okay,
Bay is the upset pick.
love it, love it. Okay, and I forgot to give you my upset pick earlier. I'll give you that real quick. Mine is the Texans over the Packers.
Yep. That makes perfect sense.
Okay. Um, yeah, man. Listen, this is this is a heck of a fun game to try and figure out. The Ravens look like one of the best teams and like one of the Super Bowl contenders to me right now. But you know how things change during the course of the season, so we'll see where that lands 10 weeks from now. But and the Bucks are tough to figure, man. They are. This is still the same team that got blown out by Denver 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? But they
Yep.
also look great at times. So I still don't know what to make of them. I think they're good. I'm still not sure how good. And I think the Ravens are really good. So despite them being on the road, I'm going to go Ravens. And that's why I double checked on your score. I'm going 31-24.
Oh, okay.
Now, I will say this because you know what I've been riding pretty heavy with the Ravens this year is when they play bad run defenses, it's easy pick for me. And it's working so far. It'll not work at some point, but so far it's been nice for me. But that is not the case here. The Bucks have the 11th ranked rush D. They're at least a solid run D, if not spectacular. So
Right.
they're going to be tested a little more this week. See how King Henry does against a better run D. But I think he'll be just fine. And I'm sticking with the Ravens.
Totally agree. We
Nice.
did not have one difference in our picks.
I can't believe that, given how hard some of these were to pick.
Yep. But we have a similar, like you said before, we have a similar philosophy.
Yeah, the home
That's
team
why
thing,
all these tough
no doubt.
games when we don't know, we just pick the home team. That's just what I defer to, and it
Yeah,
seems to be that's what you defer to as well.
no doubt, no doubt. We are of like mind in that, and that's going to land us in these close games in the same spot a lot for sure.
All
Great
right.
minds,
Well,
Craig.
yes. Hey, we were 13-1 last week,
That's
so listen
right.
to us.
Like I said, let's revel in it while we can.
So I
All
got a
right, my
couple
man.
true
That's
and
it
false
for me.
for you.
What was that?
I got a couple true and false for you.
Love it. Well, hit it. I got two for you as well. So you go. You want to go one and one, or you do your two first? Whatever you want to do.
We'll do one and one.
Love it.
My first one for you.
Okay.
The NFC North is the best division in football, true or false?
Woohoo, buddy. My instant inclination is absolutely yes, but let me just pull up the standings real quick so I can peruse the divisions and see if anything about that changes my mind. It's certainly not the NFC East.
Nope. No, it's not.
It's definitely not the AFC East. It's not the AFC West. If the Bengals were really the Bengals, I could put the North in competition for it, but they're not. Definitely not the AFC South. What is left? Not the NFC West. Yeah, I absolutely 100% say true.
I do too, but the only, you know what's another good one is the NFC South.
Absolutely, but
But
they have the.
Carolina brings it down.
I was going to say they have the Panther albatross hanging around their neck at 1-5, and the NFC North's worst teams are tied at 4-2.
Yeah, it's crazy. That division is really, really good.
It really is, man. And I like the Falcons and the Bucks, but the South has the Saints and the Panthers. So easy
Yep.
win for the North. Yeah, good one, man. I absolutely. The NFC North is blowing my mind this year.
Yeah.
I wonder if any, I wonder if any division has ever had four teams make the playoffs. I don't remember
I
that
don't
ever.
think so, but it's possible this year, right?
It really is.
Yeah, I
That
think so.
that'd be wild, man. Okay, good one, good one. All right, let me hit you with one here. So what do we got? Okay, all is right with the 49ers now.
I think right now you have to say false only because McCaffrey's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But once he's back, if they continue to win and he comes back, maybe for the Cowboy game, which I'm sure he will, um,
That's so funny.
we both picked them to win this week without him. If he's back for the Cowboys and they beat them, which I'm sure they will,
Mm-hmm.
then then all is right. They win this week and they beat the Cowboys and McCaffrey is back. Watch out.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. That's really cool. You took the same exact line I was going to take, which is I can't say all is right until McCaffrey's back because that guy, you can't have the most dynamic running back in football be on the sideline and be as good as Jordan Mason has been. He's still not Matt McCaffrey. Nobody is. So
But I will say they're getting there. They're just about there. They're about as good as they can be without him.
I agree. This last week, I want to see 2 weeks in a row because they have not played 2 weeks in a row of good football yet, but they played really good football last week. And if they do that this week again, I am on board with the caveat of waiting for McCaffrey till all is right.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, your next one.
True or false? The Commanders will win the NFC East.
That is such a tough one. You know what? Okay. My inclination right off the top of my head is to say yes because I don't like what I have zero faith in the Cowboys winning it after last week,
No, they're not going to.
and the Eagles have not been impressive at all, although their record is right there. But I need to see the Commanders' schedule before I commit to that fully. Let me just pull this up and see what they're looking at the rest of the season here.
I said false only because despite the Eagles and their question marks and their questionable play at times, they're still right there with the record.
No doubt.
And, I just have a better feeling about them maybe really straightening things out. And possibly the book gets out on Daniels a little bit. And down the stretch, he might not be quite what he's been right now, what he is right now. So I think they can be right there with the Eagles, maybe even tie them with the Eagles winning the tiebreaker, something like that. But it would not surprise me one bit if it turns out to be true.
Yeah, I have to lean towards false just because they're so young. And um, their offensive coordinator, whose name I refuse to remember, who I don't think a whole lot of, although he's proved me wrong this year, he had real good early success in Arizona too, and the league caught up to him.
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury, thank you. Um, the league caught up to him in Arizona, and I'm curious to see if that'll happen here, or maybe Jaden Daniels is so good it doesn't matter what scheme he's playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, or
And
maybe
that's possible, by the way. That's totally possible.
yeah, and maybe Kingsbury's gotten better. Like I very reluctant to give him a ton of credit, but he's in charge of one of the best offenses in football right now, so I have to some degree. Um, okay.
So you
By
would
the way,
also not be surprised if they did actually do it?
yeah, I would not be surprised at all. To me, it's between the Eagles and the Commanders, and it's a coin flip right now because the Commanders are playing a lot better. They also just lost a huge component to their defense in Jonathan Allen, and it's devastating one of their biggest weakness, which is their run defense, even further. So they have a very fatal flaw for a team that's going to win a division. But the Eagles are far from a perfect team too. So I'd
Those
lean
games,
false.
Eagles Commanders games are going to be fun.
Oh, oh, and while I'm looking at their schedule. Did you realize 2 weeks from this Sunday, 2 games from now, put it that way, I put it a confusing way. Sunday, October 27th, Bears at Commanders. Oh, buddy. And it's a 4 o'clock game.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
can't wait. So, okay. So they play. Here's the games I think they could easily lose the rest of the way. That game, although they be the favorites, that's a losable game. They play the Steelers. They play the Eagles. They play the Cowboys. They play the Eagles again. They play the Falcons, and then they play the Cowboys again. So they're going to face some tough stuff along the way. I don't know, man. I think either one could win the division, and I would be surprised if they win more than 11 games, and I would put it closer to 9 or 10.
Right, right, right. But 10 games might win the division.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Yep.
All right.
11 is the absolute ceiling to me, the way it looks right now to me.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I have one more. This ties in a little bit to your division question, but more specifically about the Bears. The Bears will make the playoffs.
What's their record? 4 and
Four
2?
and two.
I'd have to really dive into their schedule, but on the surface, I want to say yes.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with them. Their defense is playing well.
But that,
Williams.
I mean, there's that North is going to be tough. They might finish fourth in that division and have a winning record, be 9-8,
Yeah,
and not get in. But
absolutely.
I love what I'm seeing. They're not like Daniels in terms of he just came right out of the chute and was awesome. They've grown each week. You can see it. And Williams is getting more confident and better week by week by week. You can see it. It's tangible.
No doubt, man. I'm so with you. And yeah, it's you said it perfectly. Now their schedule is like you said. I mean, they're just playing in the NFC North. They've got a ton of tough games because of that. Um, they also have a road game at the Niners in December.
Yep.
But they also get the Patriots along the way too, and a couple other easy games. So I don't know. That's a tough one to call. I'm inclined to say yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't either, just because of their division and how a lot of
Right.
tough
It
teams play.
comes down to their division. If they can compete and win a couple of those games,
Yeah,
they'll be right there. They need that's but that's what they need. It's going to come down to those division games and how they fare. They can't get swept by the division or win one game in the division. They got to try to get to 500 in that division, which is going to be very hard to do.
no doubt, because it's that
But
division is no joke.
but if they can get there, they might sneak in. They might
I'm
sneak in
with
the
you, man.
playoffs.
I'm. It's a. They're a fascinating young team, and my buddy
That,
Keith, if he's listening, he's the only Bears fan I know, and he has gotten rid of jersey after jersey of failed quarterback after failed quarterback over the last 15 years I've known him. Uh, and it's nice that he can finally say, I'm going to be wearing my Caleb Williams jersey a couple years from now."
yeah, I think he is. I'm right there. I think they found him. I think he's going to be great. And I tell you what, just because they may not make it this year, look out.
I agree. This season can be super successful and end with them not in the playoffs.
Right. And then next year, forget about it. That next year, them and the Commanders, that could be 3 years from now. That could be like the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with. I hope something happens with the Commanders, but I am 100% with you. Yeah, we could be
And
looking at those guys playing each other for a long time in the playoffs.
yeah, like a big rivalry.
Yep. Yep. Wow.
So, alrighty, man. That is our show. That is the end of the preview show. Hopefully, you guys checked out the review show. If you haven't, make sure you check out the Week 6 review. And we do these every week, 2 a week, every game, every team.
Beautiful.
So,
My man.
all right. Anything else to add, Al?
No, I am good. Let's see how we come off our big success week. If we can keep that ratio going, we're heading to Vegas.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, let's get another 13, 14 win week.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. Maybe that might not be realistic, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we're
Hey,
gonna get it
swing for
right.
the fences, and if we only have warning track power, it happens.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of warning track power, I'm sorry that your fills got bounced.
Oh,
You must
yeah,
have
man.
been pretty pissed off about
Well,
that.
they ran into that buzz saw that is the Mets, man, and I just can't believe how hot the Mets got at playoff time, man. It's a bummer.
Yeah. Especially to the Mets. That's gotta suck.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It's an extra salt in the eye for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, and the Yankees won a huge game last night. The first one, I am all on board. It's still tough. I mean, last night the Yankees are playing. I'm trying to have the Jets game on my phone while I'm watching the Yankees on the TV, and then I'm noticing I'm missing 15, 20 minutes at a time of the Jets game because I can't stop watching the Yankees.
Oh, and I can't. Never would blame you for that ever. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
got to go. If my,
it's the ALCS. I mean, come on.
I mean, if the Phils were on last night, it would have been the same deal for me. So I get it, 100%.
I tried to keep track as best as I could, but I was deeply enthralled in the Yankee game. I was up, standing. I was yelling. All the things that are fun about the playoffs. Baseball's very unique playoff system. I mean, they're the most unique playoffs in terms of how damn intense it gets. It is the most stress-filled games. I mean,
Yes,
baseball is just different. It's just a different feel,
100%, 100%. It's a
but I
fascinating.
love it.
I'm so with you. It's so long. It's such a long, slow season. It's long, slow games, and it's a beautiful game. You know
Yep. And then but that just adds to the intensity in the playoffs.
exactly. Yeah, man. And people were calling for that baseball was going to go away 30, 40 years ago because of people's
No,
attention spans and
the,
whatnot. It's not going anywhere, man.
no, it's not. And the reason why is just too good of a game. The game itself, the basic of a baseball game of baseball, the basics, it'll never go away because it's a great game.
A hundred
Bottom
percent,
line,
man.
all the problems, everything else, the slowness, attention spans, all that. You get older. It is for an older audience, but you get older, you get a little slowed down, and you can appreciate it more. You
Exactly,
know?
man. You sip on some Metamucil and watch your
Yeah.
baseball.
Yeah, you
I
take a
love it.
crap and then you go to bed.
I love it. That's so awesome. Perfect. You just described my perfect day, Craig.
Like George Carlin says, life is not that complicated. You get up, you eat 3 meals, you take one good crap, and you go back to sleep.
George knows how to sum it up, my man. Awesome.
All righty. Well, I will be watching tonight for sure. And I did do a quick little baseball pod on my own, but we will get to another pod of baseball at some point. Maybe between the LCSs and the World Series. We'll see what Jordan is doing if we can coordinate. But yeah, we'll get some baseball content going on the channel again because that was a lot of fun last time.
Oh heck yeah, I'm up for whatever works for you guys. And I didn't know you did a baseball one. I'll definitely check it out. That's
Yep,
awesome.
it's like 15 minutes. I just kind of gave some thoughts on the LCSs or on
Yeah.
the division series.
Heck yeah, man. That's great. I love it. And yeah, I'm always open to baseball. I know we're going to talk playoffs. Eventually, we're going to talk all timers again with Jordan. So
Yep,
that's I love it. I'm open. I'm up for all of that.
perfect, perfect. All right, Al, another great week, and until next time, I will see you later.